When I first started running Facebook ads, I was bleeding money faster than I could make it. I spent thousands of dollars without any meaningful conversions, and I was ready to give up until I figured out what was actually going on behind the scenes. You don't actually need a massive budget on Facebook to be successful. You just need to be smarter than your competition. Because the truth is, most small businesses are wasting nearly half their Facebook ad budget on strategies that simply don't convert. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can create high converting Facebook ads, even if you're only working with a few $100s a month. So what's the number one mistake that causes small budget ads to lose money immediately? It's targeting. Most small businesses don't talk directly to their niche enough. Facebook actually rewards the most relatable ads to their prospect. So the more relatable your ads are, the lower your cost per 1,000 impressions is going to be, the cheaper you're going to be able to get your ads in front of people, and the more you're going to be able to succeed with your ads. So if your ads aren't talking directly to your niche, they're going to spike your CPMs, which makes it harder to scale your ads for the future. And you have to remember, you're competing against big brands, but the advantage you have is you can be more targeted and more niche down. For example, one of my clients has a specific niche where they only work with menopausal women. Now that is going to make them more appealing to a prospect that is going through menopause than maybe a Weight Watchers would be, because Weight Watchers works with everyone, whereas this particular client only works with menopausal women. So now those ads are going to have lower CPMs across that niche, making them more easy to scale. And it's important to remember that Facebook ads take a while to actually get the algorithm to work. So you need patience, especially with a small budget. Before we hop into exactly how to optimize Facebook's algorithm to work for you and not against you, make sure to subscribe below to my channel for more insights like this. Okay, so how exactly do you set up Facebook's algorithm to work harder for you? The first thing you want to do is make sure you set up proper conversion tracking on the back end. Now, typically that's going to be done through a CRM, whether HubSpot or Go High Level, and you're going to do that through a pipeline. Now, that's a whole nother video that we'll go into, but having something where it tracks very basically leads, booked calls, closed deals, at least you want to have those three things in there, because those are going to be used as conversion APIs to send back to Facebook. The reason conversion APIs are so important is because with a lot of the iOS updates now, the pixel itself won't get all the necessary data that it needs to optimize your ads. So it's crucial that you have those conversion APIs, which act as third parties to make sure Facebook gets all the information it needs to optimize your ads. The next thing you want to do is actually make sure you set up that pixel tracking, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that.
So the first thing you want to do to set up your Metapixel is come into the business suite and click on all tools, and then head on into the events manager. Once the events manager loads, you'll go ahead and go into data sources. You will scroll down, click on Setup Metapixel, and install the code manually. You'll be brought to install base code, and you'll click copy the code. From there, you will head on over to your funnel. And this is just what it's going to look like in Go High Level. You would obviously have to do this for whatever funnel page you're using or website page. But if you go into settings, you're going to copy that code, and it's already in here, but into the heading tracking code, you'll paste it, make sure it's all there, and hit save. Once you hit save, you'll go back to the events manager. You'll hit continue, continue again, and then you're going to want to set up the actual events. Install events using code only. You're going to scroll down here, standard events, and this is going to be what you need to do. Like, this is the code you need to copy. For leads in a lead generation campaign, you would just change that purchase to lead. If it's a booked call, you would just change that to scheduled. Whatever the name of the event is, this is where you can go ahead and do that. And you just need to make sure you close the parentheses without all this currency. So you would go ahead and actually go back into your funnel. And once you're in the funnel, you'll want to take that code that we just copied. So go to the page that it needs to be installed on. So once they opt in, they've given you that information. Now they're on the thank you page. Now they've become a lead, right? Because they've given you the information. You go to edit. And again, this is just in Go High Level. You have to do it for whatever CRM or website hosting that you have. You go to tracking code, and you'll go ahead and enter that. Again, this is for the lead for that page. Click save. Go ahead and hit publish there. And that will be how you actually go ahead and install an event in the pixel. And that will send the data back into Facebook to optimize your ads for you.
Once you have your pixel set up, you'll want to make sure you create a very simple funnel, but yet effective. That's going to be crucial for making sure that you get a high opt-in rate so you can maximize the most out of your small budget. Now, what does that look like? It can be something very simple, a clear headline on your opt-in page, hitting a pain point on what specifically you're solving, name, email, phone number, and then the opt-in button like claim your free guide or whatever your offer is. The key is you want to make sure that that opt-in button is above the fold, meaning you don't have to scroll down to get to that. And that's going to help you increase conversion rates. Now, another simple thing you can do to really make sure you have the foundation set is you're going to use what's called a slow rollout method. And that essentially just means you're going to start with a small budget and slowly but surely scale. And what that does is it's going to minimize waste, right? We don't want to just launch ads at $100 a day, have them not work, and just waste all that money. So instead, we'll start small and slowly increase the budget as we optimize our pixel and as we start to see results. Now, a simple structure that you're going to want to follow to go ahead and set up your ads is what we call the 1-3-3 rule. Now, what does that mean? It means 1 campaign, 3 ad sets, and 3 ads per ad set. Now, why do we structure it like this? Well, at each ad set level, we can go ahead and do some kind of audience test. By having 3 ads in each ad set, we can make sure that it's the audience actually performing and not just one creative, and we can see which creative has the highest click-through rate, the lowest CPMs, the highest CPL, and it might vary from audience to audience, so that's why we want to test multiple at once to really maximize our performance. What simple ad formula consistently outperforms professionally done ads? You're going to want to use what we call the PAS formula. What does that mean? Problem, agitate, solve. So what you want to do is immediately hook them in with your niche's specific problem. For example, if you're working with menopausal women, a hook that could hit a pain point may be, are you struggling to lose weight due to hormonal changes? Another option may be, are you struggling to shed the extra pounds that menopause left you with? Again, talking directly to a problem they have in your niche. Second thing you want to do is agitate that pain point, and what that's going to do is create an emotional connection that's really going to drive home the point. Now, you do that by hitting micro problems within the main problem. What do I mean by that? Well, using the same example, the main problem that we used was struggling to lose weight due to menopause. But now, micro problems they have within that is they've probably tried multiple diets before and nothing's worked. So you can touch on that pain point. They may feel like their body's different and nothing will work for them. Agitate that pain point. Talk about that next, right? And another one may be that they're confused, right? Because some people say no carbs. Some people say you need carbs. Some people say eat your body weight in protein. Some people say protein's bad for you, right? There's so much information out there that it causes confusion, and that's going to frustrate menopausal women, right? So again, you agitate that, and then you just keep going through the list, and you don't want to overwhelm them, but pick like 1 or 2 micro pain points that go underneath the main pain point and agitate them a bit. Then you want to introduce your solution. How do you solve it? Custom nutrition, so it works directly for your body. A solution so simple that even a baby could do it. Talk about what you do specifically to solve their problem and what makes you different. Now, this is going to build your authority. So now you've called out a direct pain point to your niche, you agitated and created an emotional connection because of it, and then you showed how you're unique, building authority and solving the problem. The PSA solution. Your creatives, right? They don't have to be professionally done. A lot of times, simple is better. For one of my clients, we've done professional creatives, professional videos, right? And they do pretty well. But the creative that has crushed the best for him in particular is simply a picture of a woman, one of his clients, with her hands on her hips, posing at the camera like this. And that thing crushes. It has like over 4 ROAS. Nothing special. Literally just in front of her front door. In front of her front door. I'm not kidding you. Just her with her hands on her hips, and that crushes. Why I think that works well is because it really blends into the feed. It looks organic. So they're going to stop and be like, oh, this is just a regular post. Now they're going to start reading. And then that's when they realize they're an ad. But you've already hit their problem, connected them emotionally by agitating them, and showed them how to solve a problem. So they're going to stick with you and get to your call to action. The one thing you do want to make sure you're doing with the creative, especially if it's a video, is making sure you're keeping it problem oriented. which again, similar to your copy, if it's a video creative, you want to hit the problem, agitate the problem, solve the problem. If it's just an image creative, I think you can get away with just organic, regular pictures, as again, I found that client pictures actually perform very, very well. Another really good hack for creatives is if you've had organic posts blow up in the past, tons of engagement, tons of likes, tons of comments, run that as an ad. It's already proven to work with no budget. It's going to work once you put budget behind it. It's the simplest trick to get an ad that you know will win right off the bat. The last thing you need to focus on is your headlines, okay? With your headlines, you want to create curiosity, but most importantly, you want them to know exactly what your product is. So if we go back to that menopausal example, menopausal woman, what we don't want to do is do something like struggling with menopause, right? Like there's plenty of things that could be that don't apply to weight loss, right? Instead, what we could do is something like the truth about weight loss after 40, or the truth about losing weight during menopause. Creates curiosity. Oh, what's the truth? But also tells them exactly what the offer is, weight loss, right? That's the key with your headlines. How can you find hidden audiences that big advertisers are missing? The easiest way to do this is to poll your current clients. When they join the program, give them an intake form and have one of the questions be, what are your current hobbies? They'll probably list 3 or 4. What you can do is take a bunch of those intake forms and see which hobbies pop up a bunch. Now, if you don't have any clients currently, what you can do is something similar. Find people who fit your niche. So again, if you're working with women 40 plus who need to lose weight, send a questionnaire to women that fit that category and ask them their favorite hobbies. Once you have your list, go ahead and see which ones pop up the most. Those are going to be the interest you want to start targeting. You're going to find ones that you had no idea or would never have thought of trying. I ran this with a client. We polled all of our clients. I looked at the intake forms and I saw golf pop up a bunch. And I was like, golf? I would have never guessed that. So, well, what do? We test it. What happens? We spend around $1,000 on that ad and we made over $10,000 in contracted value. Nearly an 11x on our return on ad spend. And we would have never guessed that without the polling. So that is going to be the easiest way. Now, another audience test that you can run is a lookalike audience. So if you have a customer list, it has to be at least over 100 people. You probably want more because some of them might not match on Facebook. You upload that list and you create a lookalike audience and you can test the different percentages. So like 1% is going to be the most narrow, like these people are pretty much the exact same, all the way up to 10%. And you just tweak, play around and see which ones work best for you. Another thing that'll really help you beat the big brands is strategic retargeting. Now, how do you do that? I'm going to show you in a second, but it starts with creating custom audiences. You use those custom audiences to go ahead and retarget people who are engaged with your content, who have messaged you directly, who have clicked on your website, and you retarget them with a specific offer or value to warm them up further. Now, let me show you how to set that up.
You're going to go ahead and go into the Facebook Ads Manager, come over to the side panel here and click on audiences. From here, you will see a bunch of different options. This is where you can create those lookalike audiences we were talking about, where right here you would create your source, so your list, and then here you can select what percentage that I was referring to earlier. But in this case, for the retargeting, we're going to click create a custom audience. You will come ahead and click on an engagement type, which will be to start people who viewed at least 25% of your video. Right here is where you can select all of your videos, set the time frame, and then you'll just name it here. So we'll do like video views 25%, 365 days. And then we would hit create audience. Now we would do that for 25%, 50%, 75%, and 90%. Once we have those set up, we'll go ahead and create another custom audience where you can go ahead and upload a customer list. Now, what you want to do with this list is upload your email list. You would go ahead and click customer list, add to business, and you will go ahead and upload that list. It'll fact check it, and that will be another audience that we can use. The last two things we will do is create a custom audience on Instagram. And you will then select the events. Now, you're in this case going to select anyone who engaged, But you're also going to want to do anyone who started following, anyone who visited this profile, anyone who sent a message, and you're going to want to set all of these up. Again, set the duration and name them. So this one, again, would be IG Engagers, 365 days, and you would create the audience. Now, again, you're going to want to do that for all of the events that I just listed. You're going to go ahead and back out, and then you're going to do the same thing for Facebook. Go ahead and make sure your page is correct. And then again, everyone who engaged, anyone who's following, anyone who visited, again and again, set the date, name it, and then save it. Once you have it saved, you're going to want to go back into the Facebook Ads Manager. Once you are here, you go ahead and hit create. You'll set up your campaign, which in this case, we'll do a leads campaign, manual leads campaign. So we're going to go ahead and go into the ad set level just for now. We're not going to worry about the conversion, the errors it's setting right now. Can't run leads from this, but you'll select the Facebook page, go down to your audience controls and click switch to original audience. Use original audience. Facebook's going to try to tell you not to do it. You want to do it for this case, and you will scroll down. You want to leave these open. You can change the gender if you're targeting the gender, but you'll then come in and add all of your custom audiences. I didn't actually go ahead and create any of them right now, but you would go ahead and search them. So you do like IG, select it, and you're going to want to do all of the custom audiences you just did before going ahead and clicking next, creating your ad and saving it. So that's how you set up a strategic retargeting campaign. The last thing you can do with audiences is going to be an interest-based stack. Now, what do I mean by that? So where we earlier had talked about golf being really successful for one of my clients as an interest-based targeting. Now, let's say we had another one that ran reading, right? And a lot of clients liked reading, and we tested that one individually. What you can do is stack those now on top of each other. So with the interest-based stack, you'll come down to detailed targeting and click edit. And from here, you can go ahead and search your interest. So we'd search golf, and you just want to make sure it's interest. And then we would go ahead and do reading, interest, and you can see now we're getting a more narrow audience. Now, let's say we had another one that performed really well, and we'll just say it was hiking. We could go ahead and add that, interest, and you would continue, as you can see, this number's continuing to go down to stack those to get a more niched audience.
What's the 1% rule that helps you grow without multiplying your costs? You're going to want to start by setting your budget to $5 a day per ad set. So it's going to come out to $15 a day, which is only $450 a month. But the key to making it successful is once you get the data, you analyze it, and you find what's winning, you run a winner takes all strategy. Now, what that means is if an ad sucks, turn it off, right? And take that budget and go ahead and put it into the winner. So what might this look like in the 1-3-3 rule? So you have your campaign, you have your 3 audiences. Let's say we used golf, reading, hiking, and then you have creative 1, 2, and 3. Let's say we find that the golf audience is performing best. We turn off the hiking audience and we turn off the reading audience. We then go ahead and put the $5 from each, so $10 total, into that audience of the golf. We then go ahead and look at which of the 3 creatives are performing the best at the ad level. Whatever one's performing best, we turn the other 2 off, and we make sure all of our spend is going towards the winner. That's what the winner takes all method is. However, sometimes ads stop working. You always want to have a backup ad and always be testing just in case. What you might want to do in this winner takes all situation is actually take 70% of your budget to 80% of your budget and run towards winners, and then use the rest of your budget to test new audiences and creatives. You want to test one thing at a time though, just to make sure we're clear on that, so you know which factors actually having the impact for your ads. The massive key with this is making sure you kill the ads once you determine they're not performing. Now, it will take time, especially with a small budget, to actually get enough feedback. You typically want to make sure an ad spends at least $30 to $40 before making any decision on it, unless your CPMs, CTR, CPL are way out of KPI. If they're slightly out of KPI, give them time. They could come back with more additional spend, but if they're way out, you can go ahead and kill them immediately. With this method too, you want to make sure you're making small tweaks and slowly optimizing your ads. That's how you're going to get the best performance. Now, what does that mean? It might be tweaking a headline. It might be a new audience test, and then going ahead from there and interest stacking them as we talked about earlier. Now, how do you scale those ads? You use what we call the budget ladder. What that is when you have a winning ad and you're getting return on ad spend, which is the most important KPI, right? We want to be making money. You can slowly increase your ad spend by 20 to 30% since they've already proven that they're working. And in the off chance that they stop working, we're not wasting a bunch of additional budget, and that's how we keep waste to a minimum. You now have a complete roadmap for high converting Facebook ads without spending thousands. This strategic approach will help you generate more leads and sales while your competitors waste money on ineffective strategies. Start with the foundation steps, implement the sniper targeting method, and watch your conversions skyrocket. Remember, Facebook rewards the advertisers who provide the most value to their users, not the ones who spend the most money. Your small budget is actually your secret weapon for creating more focused and effective campaigns. I hope you got some value from this video, and if you did, make sure to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.